Hi everyone, how you doing? Thanks for joining our breakout room around the digital marketing course here at UCD. Um, I'm going to invite you to ask any questions you like at any point. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just quickly run through a couple of slides. I'm just going to share my screen and just give you an outline of the course. Just going to talk you through the course briefly. And then if you've got any questions about that, you just let me know, okay? So let's just share my screen. There you go. Right, so the way that the course goes is that there's really two ways to take the course. You can take it over the course of 12 weeks. So it's one evening a week, as was said in the main webinar there. It's usually a Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday. They're the nights that it runs. So it'll be one evening a week, 6:30 till 9:30 in the evening. And we do that over 12 weeks. Or there is the boot camp option, which is also fantastic because you squeeze it into one very intensive week. We squeeze all those 12 lectures into 30 hours in 1 week, 9 till 4 every day, which some people love because you get that really kind of intensive shot at it all, and we get really stuck into it. So that's great too. And really, as Antonio said earlier, so I worked with Antonio to develop this course. And my background is in digital marketing, running agencies, working for big brands on their digital marketing. And I just really, what I didn't want this course to be was a course where people just learn loads of academic stuff. I was really keen on it being a course where every single week there's stuff that you can try immediately. We won't get stuck in the PowerPoint slides. You know, I really dig in and look at the exact nuts and bolts of the topic, right? So if we're talking about SEO, for instance, we'll actually look at how search engines work. We'll look at how we do the job of ranking better in search. I'll show you all the latest tools and practices and how we actually go about it practically and get you doing that. So you'll always have loads of stuff to try after every lecture. And then, yeah, as Antonio said, it leads up to a very practical assessment, because the idea is definitely not to get you to revise for some highly academic exam. It's to get you to create a piece of work that's actually useful. And again, I developed the assessment for digital marketing. And the reason why the assessment is to produce a digital marketing strategy is because, firstly, lots of people do it for the companies they work in, either their employee or maybe a startup that they're doing, or a side hustle that they're thinking of growing at some point, right? So it's a really useful piece of work. But also, you would be amazed how many people there are in marketing who can't actually put together a digital marketing strategy. They don't really know what should go in there. They don't know all the important details of it. And so coming away, being able to do that, I think is kind of a superpower, you know, in the world of digital marketing. And also by doing that, it really forces us to think strategically about all the really important reasons we're doing marketing. And we think about our objectives, our audience personas, which channels we're going to use, exactly how we're going to use them, how we're going to use paid budget, right? How we're going to resource all this work. It really gets us to think very carefully about that. But week by week, we're not really thinking about the assessment so much all the time. Some weeks we are, but most weeks we are just diving deep into one of the areas. So if it's, say, social media, the organic side of social media, we just spend that week, or if it's the boot camp, that session, just talking about how to do that better. They're highly interactive. It's very, I encourage a very kind of lean in, switch your camera on, get involved, ask the daft questions you've been dying to ask for ages. What is a hashtag actually? And all these kind of things, right? And that's really important. So people come with a range of experiences. But one thing I will say, both running these courses here at UCD and the other courses I teach elsewhere, is what surprises me is that you'll get someone who's like head of marketing at Barclays Bank or something like that, sat next to someone who's just never done any marketing before and is starting a small business from home. Their questions are basically the same. How does the TikTok algorithm work? Why does Google put this thing above that thing in a search result? How much should I be spending for a click if I run an Instagram ad campaign? and those kind of things, right? And we go into those things very practically in a very accessible way that works for everyone and helps you get the job done better after every single lecture. So that's the shape of it. That's how we run the digital marketing course, whether it's, like I say, over the course of 12 weeks, which fits some people's lives really well, or in the shape of a boot camp, which is a really good intensive push into all these topics. So with that, let me know if you've got any questions, and get them in the Q&A. Let's let me know, if you've got any questions about the what we teach, about the way we teach the topics, about the individual lectures, what kind of people come on the courses, anything like that. Do feel free to drop me a question there in the Q&A. Preempting some of those questions. So the kind of people that come on these courses, it does vary. We get people of all ages, by the way. We've had people in every, I think pretty much every age bracket there is. And we get a mixture of people who are early in their career and they want to grow and learn new skills and get that promotion up from a junior role. At the same time, we get people who are very late in their career who they've been interested in marketing perhaps in some way, even if they haven't worked on it, and they just want to brush up on what does it look like today and how does it work and how best to do it. So a lot of people who even get people who studied marketing in the 80s or 90s, at university, and they're like decades into their career. So we get those people, we get young people, we get people in the middle, people of all seniorities as well. Because again, their questions are the same. Everyone wants to know all the same stuff, really, when it comes to this. So there's a question here about, are there final exams? So no, there's no final exam. What happens is at the very end of the course, you are given 2 weeks to put together a digital marketing strategy. Now, whilst we'll touch on that as we go through the course, it's in that very final session that we go into it in depth, and I walk you through exactly what's in a digital strategy, the role it plays in a business. I mean, I take all the mystery out of how that works. Even if you've never thought about that or come across a strategy in your life, you will understand what they need to look like, how they're presented, why they're useful, and all of that. But anyway, you'll have 2 weeks to produce that. It's a slide-based presentation between 20 and 50 slides. It's not an academic piece of work. It's a piece of work that would hold water in the real world, that would hold water in an agency or a boardroom. So it doesn't have to have kind of citations and appendices and all these kind of like trappings of academic work at all. None of that. It's just a strategy in the way that I show you to put it together. So there's no final exam, but you are graded on that. And then a few weeks after the deadline to get your assessment submitted, you'll receive your grade, which could be a fail, a pass, a merit, or a distinction. Are there enough workplaces, for example, in Ireland, asks an anonymous attendee here, or is it hard to find a workplace? That's a big question. I don't know if this is what your question means or if it's even for me, but my feeling is that in digital marketing, there are lots of jobs because the world of business digitized massively during the pandemic, and that's not slowed down or stopped particularly. And you can work anywhere globally because there's so many remote and hybrid jobs. So if you're asking, are there enough jobs and work, places to work in digital marketing, I would say yes. And therefore, and I'm not just trying to bring it round to the sell here, honestly, but therefore, this is a great time to do a course in digital marketing because it absolutely could lead to your next job. I'm not guaranteeing it will, but it absolutely, there's no reason why it can't. The world of business is hungry for digital marketing skills, and there are lots of skills gaps there. Neil, this is a great question. I love it, getting straight in there. Has the TikTok data center in Dublin affected how GDPR applies to social media content creation for influencers? Whoa, that's a big question. That's the sort of question I love. Please sign up to one of the courses because you're exactly who we want there. I don't know, actually. It's too early. I haven't taken a full view of that. And I just want to say I'm not a lawyer. So we do talk about GDPR. We do talk about data. That comes up quite a lot. But I make it very clear I am not a lawyer. And I am taking the understanding of this as a marketer. So I don't know how the TikTok data center in Dublin affects GDPR. I think obviously one of the reasons that businesses open data centers in Dublin is to have data that resides within the EU. And as long as it stays within the EU, then obviously that gives them more, in some ways, more freedom to use that data. But how that applies to social media content creation for influencers is by no means clear, but it's something we can unpack at length on the course, and I'd love you to bring that. Neve, hi Neve, how you doing? Nice to have you. Will this course give you the means to apply for any sort of starter job in digital marketing? I mean, I want to say yes, of course. This isn't gonna. It's not like you take this course and you get your merit or distinction, and then you can just go out there and like claim your job. One thing I will say is marketing. The world of marketing is full of people who kind of came to it quite informally, because everyone's winging it in marketing, by the way, and that's okay. That's kind of part of the career path, right? However, because of that, people who show up with certified training qualifications, albeit you may have just done a 1-week boot camp or a 12-week diploma, it's the same thing. But anyway, what it does is having that on your LinkedIn, having that on your resume, it shows that you're taking upskilling seriously. And it shows that, yes, you're in this kind of very fast-moving, fast-paced world where everyone's winging it, but you're making serious efforts to try and formalize some of that knowledge and understanding of the discipline. And that looks great. I will say that to employers. And if it was a choice between you having that on your CV and someone who hadn't done any certified training courses of any sort, they'd be leaning towards someone like you. Because also, part of the job, as we will talk about in the course, part of the job of being a digital marketer is constantly upskilling, keeping yourself up to date, whether that's through newsletters, podcasts, social media, and I'll give you lots of pointers on how to subscribe to all the right things on the course. But that is part of the job. And so to be able to demonstrate that you're doing that off your own back, again, is really what employers are looking for. Then they're not looking for people who, do a bit of work and then they just forget about it. And then they're not really on any sort of journey to improve their own understanding and knowledge. That's not really the kind of person you tend to find excelling in marketing. So great question.
I suppose with this course, as Will has mentioned, there are so many different ways you can take it, which is, I think we pride ourselves on flexible learning. One of the big, I suppose, popular options is our part-time live online course. It's 12 weeks in duration, fully remote online, don't have to worry about a commute. And this class is one evening or morning per week over a 12-week period. Again, fully online, and the morning sessions tend to be from 9:30 to 1 p.m. and the evening sessions at 6:30 to 9:30. We do, of course, then guys have the full-time option, which is great if you're looking for a one and done. It's a 1-week boot camp. So it's 5 consecutive days fully online, and it's the Monday to Friday, 9 to 4. With both of them options, that you still get the same fantastic content covered, and you're still getting the same allotted time for your assessment that is at the 2 weeks at the end as well. For people who I like to say are a bit more of an in-person kind of people, they do well with seeing. We have the on-campus option as well. 12 weeks again in duration, but it takes place on a Tuesday, and that's in the evening again of 6:30 to 9:30. And then I suppose our new launch this month is the on-demand option. The on-demand option, guys, it's fantastic. It's still covering the same course content, 12 fantastic modules, but the sessions are from pre-recorded. So you take the course at your own pace, and you have 18 weeks to complete all 12 lectures and modules along with the assessment. And within that on-demand, you're fully supported through our student services team, and also through your lecture, the forums and live question and answer sessions that get facilitated as well. But I think that's kind of covering that. And I see a question there has popped it through there. It's just, do we think it's possible to get a job after finishing the course, or does it need more experience? And that's probably for yourself, Will, rather than
Topic of
myself.
the
But
day, that isn't it? I actually,
isn't it? It's great.
I love the fact that, I mean, I don't know if you just joined, but that's already been asked in some form, and I love the fact that you're thinking like that. That's absolutely the reason for doing a course like this. Unless you're obviously running your own business, it is absolutely about career progression. Like I said before, demonstrating to employers that you are taking this stuff seriously and proactively putting stuff like this on your resume with trusted institutions like UCD. That's brilliant. Is it possible to get a job after finishing this course, or does it need more experience? It really helps. I mean, obviously, like in a lot of professions, people have this perennial problem like, well, jobs are asking for experience, but how do you get the experience, right? There are absolutely enough very junior jobs in marketing where there is no experience required. Yes, you'll be doing some of the kind of, legwork. Um, but yes, there are jobs at every level in marketing, and this stuff, doing this course absolutely really helps with that. But you'll also, one of the things I think people love about this course is that they just get to understand the kind of the parameters and of digital marketing. Like, what does it actually involve? What kind of fill me in on the map of that discipline, and they get to sort of understand the jargon and how to talk about it. And so it really arms you for applying for jobs and also speaking in interviews. You'll know how to talk about PPC and SEO and SEM and all this stuff. And this course will really kind of arm you with all of that, and you'll feel a lot more confident. I think that's one of the things that people talk about coming away from the course with, is just that feeling of confidence that, right, I know what I'm talking about now. And I know that there aren't all these kind of pockets of the discipline that I don't know about. Now I know exactly what it's made up of. I kind of know what I'm talking about, and I feel more confident. So that's definitely going to help in terms of job seeking. Yeah.
Again, with the course, we do have payment plans available, slightly different depending on the modality or delivery you decide to take. But a place on most of our courses can be absolutely secured with a 10% deposit of its original fee. And for this course, whether you take boot camp, live online, on campus, it's €1,700. We do have a nice 15% discount there, though, from attending the webinar, but it'll be 10% of the original fee. Slightly different then as you move into the different modalities for the bootcamp, so the 1 week intensive course, the balance would need to be paid in full before your commencement date, so just as before you're due to start the course. For the part-time options, again, whether that's live online, morning, evening on campus, you'll be required to pay 40% of the course fee before your starting date. And then the balance of that will be due 30 days after the course starts, and all can be paid via the payment portal that you get access to when you register. With the on-demand course, there is a 50% deposit required to start the course. And then the remaining balance of 50% is due 30 days after the course starting date. What I will say is for the on-demand, as it's just newly launched, we are running it at a reduced rate right now, fantastic introductory offer of €1,000. And so it's €500 you can save if you're looking to take it a bit more self-paced, wanting to do it, look at your own schedule and time. So it is at that reduced rate as well up until next Friday, the 29th, guys, as well.
Yeah, you can download
And
it.
everyone should as well with the brochure download as well. You'll have a contact point with your education consultant as well. So if there's ever any doubt, you're struggling to find it, you can always just reach out to ourselves. We'd be happy to let it know. Of course, just regarding the on-demand course, is it a recording of the lecture? And any questions would have be directed to the lecturer via email then. So great question, Tom. With the on-demand course, they're actually sessions pre-recorded directly with the lecturer. So they're not, I suppose, a recorded class as such, but they are pre-recorded sessions that are available to watch that at any time through the duration of your 18 weeks. Any question you have for your lecture, you can pop them to them via your forum, which you will have for each module. And that form is actually on your learning management system, very easily accessible to pop them a question. And throughout your 18 weeks, Tom, as well, you would have live question and answer sessions that take place over Zoom. And they get scheduled in your learning management system as well. They're totally optional to attend, but fantastic to attend as well, should you have any questions. And even just for some networking, I always like to say it's great to attend them, get to know even your lecturer and your peers on the course there as well. I hope that answers your question there, Tom, but do let me know if you have any more, and I'd be happy to even follow up with yourself over email if you need, no problem.
That's a really good point, Sophie. Actually, something I didn't mention about the courses is the fact that you learn so much from the other people on the course as well as from myself and the other lecturers. Just hearing about people's problems and how we work through those problems and challenges, a bit of networking. You never know, someone might have a job for you, but there's certainly a lot of that goes on and it's great to meet other people who are your peers. They're in the same situation as you for different reasons, and we do learn a lot from each other. It's great. I love that.